very Monday. You tuned in to Real Talk with Mary J. We're live every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. You tuned in to New Orleans Talk Network. We've been dealing with the strong man for the month of June. The number 6 is the number of man, and we've been dealing with the strong man all month long, but we're going to piggyback right into July because we have some strong men in the studio on today, and I didn't want to go any further without inviting them to come on to be a part of Real Talk with Mary J. We know that we had a really strong man, my mentor, brother, and he's no stranger to the city of New Orleans. My boy just keeps it real all the time. He's done Real Talk all the time with Mary J. He's been on my first show, and then he came right into the studio with us once again. And he does the father-daughter talk. You all know him. I'm speaking none other than the one and only Bishop R.C. Blakes. And today we have in the studio today my brother Al Mims and Captain Black today. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for sharing on Real Talk this morning.
Greetings, fellow hostages.
There you go. They're my boys, and there are some strong men. They're solid, they're activists in the community. They go forth and they declare what it is, the real resolution, to make sure that everything is going on and in order. They're holding it down right here in the city of New Orleans, and they have their own talk show right here on New Orleans Talk Network. It's called The Hostages That Fight Back.
And we do fight back.
And they do fight back.
Constantly.
We're not going peacefully. The enemy, we can't put daylight and darkness in the same spot. We are light.
That's right. They're light. And there are some strong brothers, and I'm telling you, they fight back and they take a stand. They don't settle, and they're not bowing down to the devil and his tactics. I already told them, they already know no weapon formed shall prosper. You already know that. And look, the word of God says that it will be formed. He didn't say that it won't be formed, but he did say that it won't prosper.
It won't develop.
That's right. So I'm glad that you all are here with us on today. We're talking about the strong man because you are some strong brothers. And, I had a talk with Captain Black. I told you that we had some men that didn't want to share about the caved man. But I know that the caveman is the one that is really destroying the household. The caveman is actually tearing families apart. So we want to talk about the caveman just for a little bit. Of course, we're going to talk about the strong man, and then we're going to go into our series for the month of July, which is focused on the family. So let me hear from you as it relates to the caveman, Brother Black.
Well, let's be honest now. Some of us, we might be walking around the 21st century. We might have iPhones. We might have internet. But basically, we're still Neanderthal. Some of us now, not everybody, some of us. And the caveman is somebody that you've elaborated on, and we talked about it during my last appearance. We've got to be very careful as men that we hit that balance between, and I know Brother Al always counsels me about this because there's old school, there's super old school, and then there's me. So
you fit in the category all by yourself.
Oh yes.
Right.
Oh yes. But we have to strike a balance,
right?
Because when brothers hear submission, then they start thinking, oh, me Tarzan, you Jane, throw the woman over the shoulder and I guess swing. But there's a lot more to that. And I notice Brother Al is being silent.
Oh, I'm about to say that I learned from my late father, Albert Mims Sr., who was murdered 28 years ago in New Orleans, and I lost a brother, and I've been in, Sister Mary, there when you take a stand or you try to let your light shine, people try to put your light out, and I'm from my mother's from Mississippi, and I used to sit out in the porch, and it was dark, and I see the fireflies. And what I'm saying is, no matter how dark it is, a little light will overcome darkness. So what I try to look at and see, and let me say this to you, can I be truly?
Yes, real talk.
And we talk, I thought I was Superman, and women and drugs was my kryptonite. I'm a recycled homongler. And I'm writing a book about my life, the road I didn't choose.
He said a recycle.
Recycled.
Homongler. Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's going to come back as one.
No, no.
They're recycling all the bad. He's recycled all the bad stuff out of himself.
Okay.
We talk. Him and this brother, I talk all hours of the night. You know, he
Uh-huh.
call and talk, and he understands me very well. You know, and I want to let brothers know. I'll be listening to him, and I hear him talking, and I'll be saying, man, that what you talking about, bro, is overrated. It ain't what's happening.
All right.
You know, I got a son who I love. He's a great kid. He's 21 years old. He's at Xavier. Cameron Alexander Mims, my only son, and he's everything I could want. But God didn't, and I wanted a son always, and God wouldn't give him to me until I was ready, because I would have messed it up, Sister Mary. I would have messed it up.
Yeah.
So I talk about, and I'm always asked to speak at churches and community groups and nurseries and things. And I talk about, I'm not putting my brother down, but I tell brothers, you got to stop, man. You know, you're on the center stage. And, you know, my daddy he wasn't educated. He had a 7th grade education, but I saw the love. He showed me he loved me, and he was a big man.
Mm-hmm.
He kissed us. And
That's
he was
good.
right there. He didn't show homophobia, didn't
That's
stop it.
good.
So what am I
good.
saying is that I cry.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll tell you, and thank God I cried, because my enemies would be in trouble. But
Otherwise, we'd have to put some money on the book for him. So it's better that Brother Al cries.
But it's okay, Sister
That's
Mary,
right.
because
That's right.
that's release.
Amen.
But most of my tears, thank God, is for joy.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God that I have a brother, a friend. I thank God that we have shared and talked, and
Right.
we have a lot in common.
Right.
You know, so there's no hidden agenda. You know, and everybody don't like what I say.
Mm-hmm.
I've had more threats on my life than I imagined. I feel like I have a bullseye, but you know, it's okay. You know, I don't have no death wish, but I'm gonna tell the truth if it shames the devil. Doesn't make sense.
That's right.
That's right.
And that's what it's all about. It's about just being real and reaching people. I believe that people are more reachable when they can relate to what you have to say. And, you know, we talked about it, Brother Mims. And, you know, I already told you the devil ain't coming after nothing that's not moving.
The encourager, and I've encouraged many people. I needed to hear what you said.
Yes, sir.
You know, and it's nothing new, but we need to hear that, because sometimes we got so much, and you've said that to me, and you're right. You have so much going out that you need to be helped. Refilled.
That's right.
And, you know.
So in other words, a black man and a black woman can get together and work harmoniously, as opposed to a lot of the chaos that we see that I talk about.
I married one of them. You know, she owned me like white on rice. I can't. I love let me tell you something. She's my protector.
Mm-hmm.
At night, 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I wake up crying.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up angry. You know, and she oh Lord, what we gotta do? Let's talk.
You see.
And she while I'm praying, and I'll lay on her shoulder, and I'll be her baby.
That's
you know,
good.
Thank God for Antoinette Mims. I love you,
Look
baby.
how Brother Black looking at you. Look, you see what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, Brother Al is such a soulful and open-hearted person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, quite the opposite of myself, quite frankly. And that's what makes Brother Al and I.
He got a heart of gold, but he just keep it kind of undercover, you know.
But it's surrounded by iron. And again,
his goal is surrounded by iron.
Yes. But that's the balance that brothers have to strike.
That's
yeah.
right.
I mean, we can't. Again, you don't want to be a dictator in your relationships with women, and we are talking about male-female relationships. Right. Incidentally, I'm gonna leave the rest alone.
Okay.
And that balance is going to define, I feel, the future of the Black community and America. Because if we can't get along, if we can't have real talk, good talk, uplifting talk with each other, we won't have anything but chaos. Angry young men, disappointed young women coming out of these broken households and producing more of the same. You know, that's my focus. I know that might not be the hearts and flowers approach, but that's what I look at. If we don't get along with each other, then is it any surprise that our community is in the shape it's in?
So, Sister Mary, my wife know me. She's been there on my sick bed. I've been there for her sick bed. We've been there for each other. I was there when she had the baby, and I was about to run. You know, what I'm just saying is that she knows me. For one, But, and really.
How many years, Brother Mims?
38 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And I got 3 daughters, and I love them to death, and I'm married to them too, because they don't never let you go. But you hear that, husbands. But I just wanted to know that. But that's my children.
That's right.
And we don't have some disagreements, but I know them better than they know themselves. Let me say this to you. One of my daughters, Andrell, she I ain't gonna say her age. That's a fight. But she, when she was in high school, say 30 years ago, this boy wanted to take her, but he wanted me to rent a car, a Cadillac. And so when I wasn't gonna do it, he wound up not taking her. Guess who went to the prom? Me and her.
Awesome.
And guess what? And she got home. Well, I had a nice time.
That is beautiful.
Girl, I had a great time. We went to Dookie Cheese. She ate, and we came home at 5 a.m. But she was with her dad.
That's right.
You understand?
See, and that's what I'm talking about. Focus on the family, but we're dealing with the strong man, and you brothers are some strong men. You're coming from 2 different perspectives, and you bring about that balance.
Different, but alike.
That's right. Different in its own way, but I know there's a media where y'all come together on one accord. You know?
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you, I want to say this because we talked about the caveman, and the caveman is that mental tunnel in the back of a man's mind that he shuts down and keep everyone out. Brother Black, he kind of keeps a little people out of certain situations,
But of course.
certain tunnels of his mind. He just don't let them go there. I can pick that up. But what I'm saying is that, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what makes it get to a point where it becomes negative, where it destroys family if you stay there too long. And I hear you, Brother Mims, saying, I heard you say that you cry to your wife. Sometimes you be like a little baby to her,
she defend me.
But you see what I'm saying? This is a strong man saying that his woman is his protector. Now, I want to talk about that because I always say, and have said on Real Talk with Mary J, that when we're talking about the woman that is taken from the rib of a man, the strongest part in the man that surrounds all of his vulnerable parts, his heart, his main organs, he called the woman his protector. And that's exactly why. Because, when God said he'll send you a helpmeet, a compatible mate, somebody that's suitable for you. That's what I'm saying. So you have a suitable woman, and you have a solid family. The husband is the band around the house, so you're keeping it real. You raising your children. You took your daughter to the prom. I think that's pretty awesome. You tuned into Real Talk with Mary J. We're going to a commercial break, but we want you to stay right there because there's more. We're dealing with the strong man, and we have some powerful men in the studio today, ladies. You got to hear it on New Orleans Talk Network Live.
There are moments in life when we hesitate. Buying a home shouldn't be one. Markets are changing and interest rates are still low. Now is the time to make your move. At Rock Steady Realty, we are determined to find a home for you. We know the area, provide personal attention, and more convenience. For all your residential and commercial needs, contact Willie Jones at Rock Steady Realty at 504-460-3819. Discover the Rock Steady difference.
This is Captain Black.
This is Brother Al Mims. Join us for our new show,
The Hostages That Fight Back, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Central.
We are all hostages to something.
But it's up to us.
Find the courage to fight back and make the change.
So tune in to become the change you want to see in the world, here on New Orleans Talk Network.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
Wags Food and Culture at 1601 Plaza Drive in Marrero, always delivering the best food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's a reason why people keep returning to Wags. The food's always hot, great portions, and it's just down home good. Call ahead to order in advance at 504-348-3080. That's 504-348-3080. And let Larry know that you heard about Wags on the New Orleans Talk Network. Call him now. Wags Food and Culture at 1601 Plaza Drive in Marrero.
This is Belinda Parker Brown, President of Louisiana United International. I am the host for A Force for Justice. You can listen to us every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central, exposing the injustice in our criminal justice system. You can also call in at 504-341-8255 and tell us how you have become a victim in our criminal justice system.
On the New Orleans Talk Network, A Force for Justice with Belinda Parker Brown.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Crown Properties Incorporated, development and property management specialists, specializing in commercial and residential properties. With over 20 years experience, we specialize in property management, tenant placement, rent collection. We also manage single group housing. We have a full-time maintenance staff, 24-hour emergency on-call services, and we're fully licensed and insured. Let us do all the work while you receive the monthly checks. At Crown Properties Incorporated. For more information, call 504-366-4001. That number again is 504-366-4001. Or come visit us at 405 Gretna Boulevard, Suite 109, Gretna, Louisiana. Crown Properties Incorporated. For all your property management needs. You be the investor, we'll be the landlord. Crown Properties Incorporated.
Nobody gives you better conversation about your quality of life.
Let everyone know you listen to
The New Orleans Talk Network.
Trump said best thing I like.
Mary J, we're live. You tuned in to Real Talk with Mary J live on New Orleans Talk Network. We're on the air every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I hope you guys are having a merry Monday today. This is 4th of July, but it doesn't stop the show. We keeping on. We keep on moving. We have some strong brothers in the studio on today. Brother Mims, Brother L. Mims, and my boy Captain Black are here. We're talking about the caveman, the strong man, and of course, we're focusing on the family. And before commercial break, I hope you guys were with us, but Brother L, he shared some information as it relates to being a strong man. And he's not too strong where he doesn't cry. He's not too strong where he doesn't go to his wife when it is that he's dealing with something and she's right there, because I believe every strong man needs a strong woman right by his side. And my bro said he cries to his woman, and that's good because see, he already came out of his cave. He's come out of his cave. Captain Black, he's not in his cave. He's out of his
Sister
cave.
Mary, she coming to cave and get me.
That's
she
what
already,
I'm talking
let me
about.
tell you something. Am I right? She already know what I'm. She
What
give
you
me
did.
advice.
That's
She
Brother
like,
Al's wife is one of the great creatures on this planet. This is true.
Yeah.
She
My-
is a serious force, a great
protect her
woman.
family, take
Yep.
care of her men. When she go out to buy something, she gonna buy something for her boys, her men. You know, her men.
Yeah.
And my son is. You know, that's her love of her life. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying is she make me feel like a king. You know?
Awesome.
Oh,
And
yes,
that's,
indeed.
see what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
when you're married to a
Hey,
queen.
can I say something to you?
She knows her place. So she knows how to do that to make you feel like a king. When you're married to a queen, I mean, a queen can't be married to a peasant.
This
you
is
know,
true.
I hear ladies and Christian people talk about, you know, how they got married. Oh, he's good. He just this and this and this, and he did this and did this. Well, let me say this to you. First of all, when you marry somebody, they forget about the rich or poor, better or worse till death. See, when the things start getting bad, most people start running.
Right.
They leave you.
Right.
But and let me say something to you. This and it's really and me and him took out and he was so nice to me. But what about when things get bad?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be there? And we gotta know. And that means what kind of woman you picking. And I tell guys all the time. I say, my wife was the best thing ever happened to me. And I didn't know it. And then let me tell you something. She was my friend before she became my wife because I had many women. And she was always at my fight. She was always there. And when I got in trouble, when I got loaded and things, I was always at her house. We wasn't intimate. We were spiritually intimate.
Right.
But then I said, Lord, give me what I need. All these women I went through, and then one day the scales come out and she was right there all the time.
The whole time. Just talking you and coaching you through it, and
Taking
had
care of
somebody
me.
to lean on, somebody to kind of just pour out. You see?
And that's the truth. The God is my way. And baby, you listen. I know I'm embarrassing you, but
No, you're not. You're not, girl. Sit on your throne, honey. Take your crown. No, you're not.
Here we go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's real, and that's real. And we're talking about focus on a family. So that's it. That he understood what he needed. A lot of times, I always say men get there a lot slower than us females. We pretty much know who we want, know who we are, and know what we want. And then men they just be out there still playing.
Oh,
you just throw the hook in the water.
Ouch.
And the fish thinks, oh wow, there goes a worm, not realizing it's been set right in his path, so she can go ahead and reel him in.
That's all right. You see what I'm saying? But at least, and I like that because he said that, they liked each other. A lot of times people partner up and they really don't like one another.
Right.
They may lust one another. They may love one another, but they don't really like each other. And it's good to be married to somebody that you like, somebody that you can share with and have a lot in common.
My friend.
Look, that's right.
And let me tell you, she brutally honest.
Good.
She was one of my best trainers when she told me, people be telling me, oh, Al, you looking good, and I wasn't working hard because I was setting myself to fail. Then she used to say, I couldn't repeat everything she said. She said, well, you didn't look like nothing. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, you should hear,
She came and recreated.
Oh, yeah, they need to have their own sitcom because it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you, so she beat me up sometime after that Cap. She said, what Cap am I going to do? What you going to do?
Well, I stay out of it. Now, like I said, I fight any man, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. But when it comes to Mrs. Mims, I opt out.
That's it.
And she loved him. She loved me. He she tell him stuff. She get on him too. I guess.
Mm-hmm. That way, Brother Al won't feel like he's in it by himself. So she makes sure that she shares some of her insight with me too.
That's good. That's good. I'm telling you, you two solid brothers, and so, and Brother L raising daughters too. To be queens, because mother have already showed them the example of what it means to be a queen and how to take care of a king. So that's pretty awesome right there. The band around the house, the husband, the band around the house, keeping it real.
May I say something? My son, my only son, and he's a gift. Truly, all my children are gifts. I don't treat none of them. I got 7 grandchildren, but it's Cameron Alexander Mims. People wanted to know that I wanted, I was looking for a third. No, I wanted him to have his own direction, his own purpose. God had given him special. He's in the ministry. He's a great kid. But let me say this to you. People said, he looked like you, Al. I say, I appreciate you saying it, but he looked like his mama with a beard.
This is true. He does.
He looked like his mother.
Identical to his mother.
And got his mama ways. This boy is a great catch. He can cook. He can sew. He can wash. Wash dish.
You trying to put him out?
No. I'm not trying to put him out there. I'm just telling that brothers that y'all can't, y'all can't do anything for yourself. You can't sew a button. My son, he vacuums. He got his chores. He takes care. He got a bank account. And I'm saying that he's
real tight with him. And he's real tight with money now. He might need to be a banker.
Oh, and look, my son, God bless him, but ain't nobody gonna take nothing from him.
Oh no,
and so what I'm just saying, and he tithes.
Right.
You know,
And the beautiful thing is, getting back to relationships, he is the product of a loving, disciplined household. You know, this didn't happen by happenstance. You know, a father and a mother who love each other created him and raised him to be the godly man that he is.
when he was born in June of 1995, I was in the hospital and I was holding. She was holding my hand. She was squeezing it, and the baby was coming out, and I was about to faint. And I knew she was painful.
Why every man says
I'm telling you. And last but not least, when the doctor got it, the doctor said, "Oh, Mr. Mim, you want to see your baby?" I looked at him. He said, "You want to hold her?" I said, "Oh."
I think men don't quite realize the totality.
He wasn't looking too hot, you know,
of what happens when your child comes here. And I guess seeing it in its totality is a bit much for many men to handle.
I was almost faint, girl. I'm telling you, they had two.
And of course,
strong we women have to be.
Mhm.
You know, that we can carry life and then give birth to life in the earth realm, pushing forward life. You know, see how solid we are and strong, and then y'all strong and masculine, and look at it, be about to pass out.
Oh, I passed out. I did
but
pass
now,
out.
but I do know men who, hey, they've been there for all their children's births, and they just start beaming from ear to ear. So you know, you do have some who can handle it. So we I guess it goes from individual to individual. Brother Al survived; he made it through, and now Cameron is here as a living witness of what can happen when you have real relationships, real love, and then you produce real households for children.
I want to say about the mother. My wife has preached to Cameron, taught by example about our relationship. She never called me nothing out of anger. You know, she talked to me. We talk and we get out. We never go to bed mad, angry.
right.
You know, you can't do that.
Right.
And we don't leave each other mad, because you never know what can happen.
Exactly.
We never know the time of day, and you got to deal with that. If I woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda. If I only knew. But my son watches how he wants a woman like his mother. Truly, I'm telling you. You know,
because she's a good example for him. He's seen it.
And let me tell you what his mama, she's straight up with him. She said, "Don't bring no thug at home, a female thug." He said, "I don't want no woman for you." And she's not trying to, but he knows.
But I don't think, based on you and your wife and the examples that you've already set, the household he's coming from, he can't bring that home.
He said that.
He can't bring that
He
home.
can't.
Yeah, because that's not something that has been in his life. So a lot of young people, they live by the example that is before them. And so and I'm going to say, you know, the Bible says to train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they will not depart. So even though they stray and play, that's not somebody he's going to bring home to mama. He knows that.
This is
he
true.
He knows that. You know, so
and we become too politically correct, I think, to warn women that, hey, you know, if you're acting like that, you're not going to be the one who's going to take home the mama.
Not at all.
Now, you might be the one who takes to Motel 6, but that's another story.
That's
maybe
real
for
talk.
another episode.
Yes, because we're going to be dealing with relationships in the month of August, and we're going to keep it real. So we're getting ready to go into our next commercial break. We want you to stay right there. You tuned into Real Talk with Mary J. I'm your host, Mary J, and we have Brother Mims, L. Mims, in the studio today, and Captain Black. You're on New Orleans Talk Network. Stay tuned for more.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device, or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
You wanted that phone, and the answer was no. You needed that car, and the answer was still no. Your family liked that apartment, but they said no again. They even turned you down for the job you were qualified for, all based on a bad credit report. Your credit can be restored. Call Bethesda Community Development Corporation at 504-348-0132. Don't allow a bad credit report to hold you back any longer. Call BCDC at 504-348-0132.
This is Tanya Free. A lot has happened since last Wednesday's show. A historic sit-in and a protest in the House of Representatives, Supreme Court rulings on affirmative action and immigration, an armed gunman in a theater in Germany, and a Donald Trump-inspired congressional hopeful post, a Make America White Again billboard in Tennessee. You can't make this stuff up. Speaking of Trump, what's your take on him now reading from a teleprompter and calling up Michelle Bachmann to be his top female evangelical voice? These stories and more this Wednesday on the Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show, 2 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Central.
Join Tanya Free and Friends at TanyaFree.com. On air, online, and on point.
Wags Food and Culture at 1601 Plaza Drive in Marrero, always delivering the best food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's a reason why people keep returning to Wags. The food's always hot, great portions, and it's just down home good. Call ahead to order in advance at 504-348-3080. That's 504-348-3080. And let Larry know that you heard about Wags on the New Orleans Talk Network. Call him now. Wags Food and Culture at 1601 Plaza Drive in Marrero.
This is the Reverend D. Dunn
and Charles Stewart.
We will be coming to you live every Monday, 11 to 12 noon on New Orleans Talk Network, hosting a new show, A Church Without Walls. The church is us and the church is you. We are a church with no boundaries. Stay as long as you want, leave when you want. Remember, every Monday, 11 to 12 noon, tune into A Church with No Walls.
Don't you dare miss it.
The New Orleans Talk Network has added hundreds of listeners to our email database. But we don't have you. Make sure that you are in the know by sending us your email address. Go to the NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com and send us your email contact so that we can send you action matters, community events, show topics, and a whole lot more. Go to the contact page and email us today your address. That's NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Go to the contact page, send us that email address today.
Nobody gives you better conversation about your quality of life.
Let everyone know you listen to
The New Orleans Talk Network.
You tune back into Real Talk with Mary J. I hope you're having a merry Monday on this morning. This is New Orleans Talk Network. We're live on the air with Real Talk with Mary J. We're in the studio. I hope you've been listening to Brother L. Mims and Captain Black. They're keeping it real. We're talking about the strong man. Focus on the family. We're dealing with the strong man as it relates to the family man. Brother Mims have shared where he come from, you know, a little bit about his background, and that he's hooked up, he's yoked up, connected to a solid queen.
Ain't ashamed, not ashamed.
A solid queen that knows how to be there for her husband and her children, and she is the one that he goes to whenever it is that he's going through. And that's when you have a compatible mate, a suitable mate for you. And you know, when we have a family that is solid and he's the band around his house, though he's a strong brother, ex-boxer, ex-champion. The boy is bad to the bone, you know, and he keeps it solid. He don't back down. He don't bow down to the enemy and his tactics, but he still knows how to take care of his family and allows his wife to be who she is, the queen of his life. So we're talking about it on today. And look, brothers, I want us to talk about as we focus in on the family, because we know that we have some strong men. And we know that we are a product of our environment, you know, and I'm going to say that because a lot of people might say, no, I'm not a product. I don't let my environment create me or shape me. But you become a product of your environment no matter whether good or bad is what I'm saying. You can become a product of your environment based on the things you've experienced and what you've seen in your neighborhood, and you go to the very opposite way and say, you know, I don't want to be like that, I don't want to be like her or like him. So that's still becoming a product of developing from where you came from. And then there's some that take the more negative approach and they become that which they see, is what I'm saying. So, but we're keeping it solid on Real Talk with Mary J. Focus on the family. What happens now, brothers, both solid brothers that's in the studio, what happens when we have that missing strong man in the household? Let's talk about that for a moment.
Chaos.
Sadly, yeah.
Chaos.
I mean, sadly, you'll have, for your female children,
yes,
they try to find the father figure in a successive progression of men and bad relationships. And for a lot of the young men, they lash out at society because they're hurt. And as Brother Al always likes to quote, you know, hurt people hurt people. So young men without fathers oftentimes try to prove their masculinity through very exaggerated and inappropriate behavior. They want to, you know, repopulate the earth, put children all over the place. They want to commit crime. They want to be drug dealers. They start shooting and fighting because they feel like that's the way he has to try to fill the emptiness in his life. And, you know, I mean, I came from despite being this grim person that y'all talk about, I was raised by my I was raised by my grandparents and my mother. My grandfather was a big, jovial man, nice as can be, wonderful human being. But, you know, he always told me that, he said, boy, keep your wits about you. So, you know, I've always been just sort of a person on guard. You know, yes, I do come out of the cave from time to time, but it definitely but it has to be worth it. I mean, this world that I find myself in, you know, it's fallen. None of us came here perfect. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, but you just have to be very careful. Yeah. And again, going back to the households, two people meet in a nightclub, have a child, and they put no more focus in raising that child, or they put less focus in raising that child than they do what clothes they're going to wear to the club the next week. And then society ends up having to deal with the consequences of that.
Wow.
And I want to say to some of the biggest things that I'll be concerning me, sister, is that people think that you meet a spiritual man in the church all the time. No, that your man is not always there in the church.
That's right.
And I'm so tired of women saying they're married to God. No, you're not married to God. No. God has something for us, but you got to listen. And we prayed the other morning, and you told me, you shared with me some things that we learning. But I think is that when a man is missing women, they have babies because they want something to love them.
Right.
And sometimes we go off the bat. I've seen
That's
and,
right.
and let me tell you something, it's not the child's fault, and that child is God's child. But we have 3 and 4, 5 different child. Every man you meet, you got a baby for him. And I see it all the time.
Uh-oh, bro, you might want to repeat that one again.
They're having a baby for him. And brothers think manhood is from the waist down. It's from the heart.
That's
know, a strong black man who, said, Lord, I got something to do. I don't have time for this relationship the way it should be, the way I want it to be. And I'm going to just move on down the road a little bit to wait for what what you really have for me. Because, sometimes we have a problem waiting. We want to put, I know this is what God got for me. God ain't got nothing to do with it. So all I'm saying is that we as elders.
You mean instead of the Holy Spirit, it was indigestion?
It was
okay.
It was indigestion.
It was indigestion.
Yeah.
We have to do better. We have women that they love their men more than love their children. I'm gonna speak about that in one of the nurseries. We gotta love our children, because if not, our children gonna get our attention one way or another.
Right.
We got things that happen in the community that shouldn't be happening. We got beautiful sanctuary. People go to church and test a lie, and they're not bringing nothing out of church. You preach the word, sister, and they should know better, but they don't know. They leave the church and like I went to church. I go to church. What they got to do with all the tea in China?
Case in point, last night, because Captain Black does event security.
Real.
Yes, last night I was at a Black gospel event. Now, I'm not trying to put color on it, but I am giving context. And I'm gonna be honest with you, those Negroes had
I was
more
on the phone. I was
Yep.
on the phone.
had more H in them. I broke up one near fight, witnessed several arguments. And these are the people who are supposed to be filled with the Spirit of the Lord.
Tell them how it sounds. Tell them what it
They were
sounds.
more, let me tell you,
Tell them what happened.
they were more rambunctious than some of the hip hop events I've worked, where there's no expectation of holiness or righteous behavior whatsoever. So, folks, we, as Brother Al would say, we got to do better.
I'd rather see a sermon than hear a sermon.
Same here.
You can,
That's right.
talk is cheap.
That's
I
right.
hear, it's not connecting. And people not seeing. Let me tell you what I see all the time. Look, 50 men, the brotherhood, came to my house the other day because I was having some issues in the community with the drug dealers. And they came there when men of God come and pray. They didn't come there to beat up nobody. Because my neighborhood ain't the same.
I really wish they would have, but no. Because it was your pastor and the members of your brotherhood, I was very happy to hear. They prayed with Brother Al. They walked the neighborhood together. They showed that godly men can be on the scene and come out of the pulpit, march out of the sanctuary and put the gospel on the streets where it needs to be if you really want peace.
It's got to become, we got to come out. We can't have these big old beautiful sanctuary. That's okay. But the community is dying around us.
Yeah.
We got to stop testifying. We got to stop preaching about prosperity and about judgment.
Oh my God.
We got to stop preaching these soft sermons. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We got ministers that don't even know the neighborhood. The neighborhood is ripe for the picking, but you're not doing what God said to do. And they get angry. Man, I don't call your name, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
That's the great commission of the church, is to go ye therefore. We need to go out in the community and compel them to come. And
so you mean not just the Marriott?
Oh, no.
Okay, I was just wondering because usually,
not just the hotels,
not
just the conferences and the,
we keeping it real.
the arenas,
How about the casino?
No.
Okay. Just asking because it just seems like.
And Sister Mary, may I say this to you? I think I want to say to the people, the believers, and some of the people in the world, that the most important thing I think you can give people who are troubled some time to listen. Sometimes we need to listen. Because sometimes we come there and I'm bound to be blessed and things, but people need to listen.
Right.
I mean, and what I love is, and again, as Brother Al talks about testifying, don't walk around saying, I'm blessed, and you look like you got one foot in the grave and the other one on the banana peel. Maybe you are, but all but all kidding aside, what we're talking about is how a relationship with God and a loving, faith-based household, that's your crime prevention program. That's your poverty prevention program. That is your ultimate social program. If we had that, then government wouldn't have to be in our households today.
Yes. So that's what we want. I have a vision, and I'll share with you guys later because I'm still putting the components together. But we're going to be able to team up and do some great things in the city. And I believe that it's going to help reach a lot of people. We have to come out of the walls of the church and reach those that are out there, those that are lost. And when we're talking about the missing component in a household, when we don't have the band around the house that keeps everything in order, that example, I love the fact that Brother Mims took his daughter to the prom. Because she had a knucklehead that decided to not take her because of the vehicle that he didn't want to rent for her. Really?
You want me to rent?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then, that goes back to the question of where was that brother's father that would have told him better and taught him better, but we have to be able to let our children know there's a certain way you do things and how to do it. But I just love the fact that he did take her to the prom. And I know that's something that she's going to remember forever, and that example of having a father that can aid the home, be the protector, the provider, the prophet, and the priest.
No alcohol.
All the P's, bro. All the P's.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what's needed. But then they're also now, brothers, they're also present fathers. I call them the present absent dad, the one who is in the house. I always say to people, being a family man and a man in the family is two different things.
Uh-oh.
You hear what I'm saying?
You mean when the man says, but you know, I pay the bills.
Exactly. You know,
But I'm working double shifts.
that's right. But you know,
Yeah,
we
need some balance on that.
we need to spend time with our children. We need to be there for them, to be that mentor that they need to see, where they don't have to go out looking to see who it is to be the mentor in their life. What kind of man is strong? What kind of woman is the lady that they're supposed to have? But we have to be that example for them.
And I'm very glad that you mentioned mentorship, because that's central to Brother Al's ministry. But
Mhm.
it saddens me because it's always
Fatherhood Roundtable.
Yeah, it's always, yes, Fatherhood Roundtable. But it's always our children. Not saying other people's children
Right.
don't have mentors, but
Right.
it's always our children who it's very apparent need all hands on deck to come and raise them and try to give them examples, because they're not getting it at home. And we don't say this enough. That's politically incorrect. You got to blame history. You got to blame the boogeyman. You got to blame astrology. You got to blame everything but what's not going on in the household. And consequently, people like Brother Al, groups like Fatherhood Roundtable, women like yourself
Real talk.
have got to try to do that. And let's call it what it is. Try to help parent people's children who are not being parented, whether it's because it's a single mother, whether it's because there's a, how'd you say it about the men? That the man might be in the household, but he's not involved with the children.
He's a family man.
Mhm.
You know, there's a
But
difference.
he's not a man
that-
in the family.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it hurts me. And sometimes even the best parents will have situations where, you know, they've got to kind of outsource and find somebody who might be better equipped for whatever issue may be going on in the child's life. So I'm not criticizing that.
Right.
But too often what I see, and and by the way, I don't have children. And people are like, well, man, you know, you're 50. Why don't you have children? Tell them I haven't been married yet. I know that's a radical thought, but we put more, again, as I said last segment, we put more attention into what shoes we're going to buy from the store than choosing a mate, having children, and raising them. And we're seeing the consequences of that.
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
in my opinion, Brother Al.
No, and we in some of the situations too, Sister Mary, is that some men cannot teach what they never experienced.
Right.
They, you know, some men they don't hug their boys. They think that's
I was going to say
homosexual.
that, and you see that's why I can see the reflection with you and your wife. You stated earlier on that your dad was a strong, solid man, big man, but he kissed you
all the
as a
time.
child.
Yeah.
So you already had that affection from a parent, you know, to know what it is to be affectionate. We have some households that grow up with no emotions. There's no affection shown.
They're
Children
looking for all the wrong places.
Exactly. They begin to search for that. And I tell men and women, just like you said, you raise your boy, he knows how to cook, sew, all of that. That's a good thing, because when a man already knows how to do for himself, a woman can't complete him. We always talk about, oh, she completes me, he completes me. You have to be complete and whole before you go into a relationship. You know, because I don't want a half of nothing. You know, they always say a piece of man is better than no man at all. Oh, no.
But see, sister,
No.
but
I don't want a half of anything.
But if you take a few,
piece of
but if you take
anything.
a few pieces of men and put them together, then you have a whole man.
Okay,
Isn't
yeah.
that wonderful?
And I'll be married to somebody that's, you know, psychotic or something.
This
All
is
these
true.
pieces from everywhere.
Yeah, when we
you know,
start
that's
seeing
not
you-
healed
Oh,
yet
yeah.
and not whole yet.
We'll be saying, why is Mary wearing shades all the time? Why is she, you know?
'Cause I'm cool like
Yeah,
that.
when she gets on the radio, it's like, I thought she was married and happy. No, so, but again,
Yeah, but I do wear shades everywhere I go. You know?
I know. I mean, we're
Yeah.
not talking. I'm not. No, not talking about you're cool now. But sadly, and I was making light of it. But seriously, sometimes women wear shades because they've been hit.
They've been. Oh,
and they
wow.
got yeah, not you, but I'm just saying some women. And this is what's going on in our relationships. This is some of the real talk we need to have.
Yeah.
And we're not having it.
Yeah.
And other people are making a fortune off of the fact, pardon me, that we don't love ourselves. In many cases, we're not complete, and the children are being broken in broken homes, and then everybody has to scramble to try to put these pieces together, and it's not working.
Sister Mary, listen, I love the Essence Festival, but the party is over, but the purpose is still here.
That's right.
And I have had people, and I don't name no names, that go to all these empowerment programs over the last 10 years, and they got the tapes, and they have not used them. They're still single. They're still making babies, men and women. They're not, in other words, they're not,
Wait a minute.
They're not getting the wisdom.
It just dawned on me, Brother Al. I don't have any children. Do I need to run out after I get off the air and run out and make babies?
You say Cameron is yours, and then you.
Well, yeah, I mean he's my godson.
But let me tell you something.
So that's not the way to do it, bro.
You're the example.
Oh,
man.
so I guess I can't.
Don't put the cart before the horse.
Okay, I'm not going to put the cart before the horse, Sister Mary. But you know,
there you go.
Every blue moon, you just have to check and see. Well, maybe I'm doing something wrong.
No, I think you're doing it. I think you're doing it right, brother.
Thank you.
He's great. He's great.
I believe you're doing it right, and brother L's talking about how these people go to these seminars, and I think a lot of times it's in the hype. We get caught up in the hype.
Mm-hmm.
We hear it, we hear it shouting, and that emotion that we just get so excited, but there's no impartation. We don't allow it to be imparted in our spirit where it can take root, because you have to grow from what you know. You can't just keep, the Bible says faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So you have to continue to hear it, but you grow from what you know. It's a shame to stay stuck when you know better. You do better,
especially when you're stuck on stupid.
Exactly.
Y'all keeping it
Real Talk with Mary J.
That's what I'm talking about. You have it, Real Talk with Mary J, every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's how we keep it real. You tuned into New Orleans Talk Network. We're live on the air, and you can come and connect with us every Monday morning at 10 a.m. I hope you had a Merry Monday today. Did you guys have a Merry Monday?
Oh, so far so good.
All right, and we're going to continue. It's Independence Day, brothers. Are you independent?
Everything but God.
Are you independent?
Everything but God, and I'm working on the rest.
That's good. I'm independent, but God is the source of my resource. He is the center of my joy. So I'm right there with him every step of the way. But we're going to continue to go higher. This is the Strong Man today. We're closing out the Strong Man episode, but we're going to continue with it in the month of July right here as we focus in on the family. We can't focus on the family without some strong men. And I'm glad that you, brother, shared with us today in the studio on Real Talk with Mary J. All right, see what I'm saying? That's my boy. I don't know if you can see this, brother L Mims right here with the Muhammad Ali. Now that's a strong brother right there, Muhammad Ali. We salute these brothers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,